everybody out there in the bookverse, it's Stephanie, and today I'm going to be doing my November TBR. So 2020 has had a lot of new releases, and there have been so many books and so many new releases that I have wanted to read and I just haven't been able to get around to. I haven't been able to fit them on my TBRs. I don't know. I just haven't read them. And so I decided that November I am going to dedicate the entire month to reading new releases. So I have dubbed this month New Release November. There's going to be only one book on my TBR that is not a new release, and that is because it is for a book club pick. Okay, kind of a lie, because there's actually going to be 3 books, because I forgot I need to read Edge Dancer, which is a novella that's written by Brandon Sanderson. It's like a 2.5 book in his Stormlight archive. And I also need to read Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson before I can read Rhythm of War. So yeah, those are on there as well, but we're still gonna do this, guys. I got this. This is an over 1,000-page book that I'm just adding to my TBR. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. Thanks so much for coming and watching my videos. If you'd like to see more from me, definitely hit the subscribe button down below and the bell icon so you'll be notified when I post new content. Let's jump into these books because they are all books that I am so excited for and I've been looking forward to for a lot of the year. A lot of them were on my anticipated releases videos. So yeah, these are some of my most anticipated books to read for the whole year, and this is gonna be a good month. I can feel it. That's an annoyingly loud purple car driving by outside, sorry. So the one book that is on this list that is not a new release from 2020 is the book that is the Shelf Space Book Club pick for November. And I will link Jessie May's channel down below. She is the host of the Shelf Space Book Club. And the pick for November is The Sword of Kaigan by M.L. Wong. This is going to be co-hosted with Elliot from Elliot Brooks. I'll link her channel down below as well so you can check her out. And they're both going to be doing a live show for this sometime in November, maybe beginning of December. I'm not positive. But this is an East Asian inspired fantasy book. This is a standalone book as well, which is something that you don't get a lot in fantasy. So I'm pretty excited to only be committing to one book when I'm reading this because I have way too many series going and I'm going to be starting some more because I have a problem apparently. But this book seems to be set in a world where they use kind of elemental magic. They can raise the sea, they can make swords of ice. It seems like they rely a lot on maybe water as their element that they fight with. I don't know if anyone else uses other elements. Maybe we got a little bit of Avatar going on here. I'm not positive, but I'm believing this is going to be a dual perspective book. Just from reading the back, it seems like there is a young man in this family that was kind of bred to be a fighter and a young woman who is married and is supposed to be like a good wife and have children, but she is a warrior at heart, and that is kind of coming out, and this big battle is coming and they need to defend their homeland, but the homeland has secrets of its own that they're kind of starting to uncover. So I'm extremely excited to read this book. I have heard only good things about this. I've never heard anyone give a negative review of it. I mean, granted, I haven't heard that many reviews, but so far so good. It's pretty chunky. I believe this is also a self-published book, which is awesome and really cool. I love supporting self-published authors. Yeah, this book is about 613 pages, so not too terrible. And it seems like it's going to be a great time. I'm excited to get into it. And this is probably going to be one of my first reads of the month, just so that I will be done with it and ready so I can like kind of participate in the discussions with everybody else. So the next 4 books are books that are pretty firmly on my TBR, and they're books that I already own. So the first one is The Year of the Witching. This is by Alexis Henderson, and this follows a young girl who is born into this community where she is kind of not completely shunned, but she isn't treated as an outsider and not as an equal because she is half black, half white, and her mother was believed or maybe known to be a witch. This girl goes into the woods that are near her home and is gifted the diary of her mother, and I believe witchy things ensue. She starts kind of developing powers as well, and it's kind of dark and scary and atmospheric, and I am really excited. Just the cover alone makes me excited to read this book because it gives very almost like honestly Vampire Diary vibes, but I'm thinking it's going to be maybe Vampire Diaries witchy side adults. I think there might be a little bit of a religious aspect in here. I don't know if it's cult or just religion, but I'm really excited to jump into this book. I have heard amazing things about it. I've heard so many people say that it is such a good book and they absolutely love it. So this is one that I am so pumped to be able to add to this TBR. The next one is also an adult fantasy book, and that is A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. This is the first book in her new adult series that she has come out with. This book is about a girl who has enrolled in a school. I think it might be a university of magic, but it's fairly deadly and people don't always survive going through this. It's kind of an accepted thing that you could die going through this school. And I think that sounds awesome. It's like dark academia to the extremes, which is perfect for this time of year. I like that dark academia vibe in November, particularly for me, because it's starting to get really cold here, and I'm absolutely so pumped to get to this book. I've heard really good things about it. I've heard it's really fun, it's easy to read, easy to get into, and it's not too complicated, that you can just really dive in, sink your teeth into it, and just get invested in this book. Another adult fantasy that I'm going to be adding to this list is Over the Woodward Wall by A. Deborah Baker, which is a pen name for Shannon McGuire, who is the author of Middle Game. Now, this book was mentioned in the book Middle Game quite frequently, and it is about these two kids that live in the same town, and one is extremely organized and one is extremely wild and carefree, and they end up going over this wall and going on this adventure together in this woods, I'm guessing because it's a woodward wall. I really don't know what to expect from this. I'm expecting it to kind of have weird vibes, some nonsensical vibes maybe. I'm not positive. It seems to kind of have the same vibes as her Wayward Children's series, because there are two children that are kind of going through a portal over a wall into a different world. I don't know if they return or not. I don't know. But it is really short, so I don't know if this is considered a novel or a novella. Honestly, I don't know where the cutoff is for those. But I love the cover. I think it's absolutely stunning, and I am just really excited to read this book and see what it's about, kind of see what I think of it, because I liked Middle Game and enjoyed it a lot, but the portions that were pulled from this were not as interesting to me. I felt like they were odd and I didn't get it, so maybe this book will help me get them a little bit more. The last book that I own that I am for sure going to be reading in November is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. This is the first book in a new YA fantasy series. This is about a young girl who enrolls in a university. I think it's in North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. And she joins this secret society of people who practice magic, who are called Legendborns. And I have heard it has some like Shadowhunter vibes in there, which I didn't really absolutely love, but I do kind of like this idea of this magical academia going on in our world. Ooh. I definitely should have taken the wrapping off this because it's quite reflective. This is actually the Owl Crate version, and it's kind of a different, got the pink and blue look going on instead of the deep blue and red of the normal cover. But I've heard so many people absolutely love this book, and I am really excited to jump into it. I know it's another series that I'm going to be starting, but since no other books are out, I feel like it'll be okay. I'll just kind of catch up with them as they come. I have 3 other books that I don't own yet that I am still planning on reading in November. The first one is To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. This is the author of the Aragon series, which I absolutely adore. I have them all, there they are, they're all there. I loved that series growing up. I thought it was so much fun, but he has never really done sci-fi before, and To Sleep in a Sea of Stars is an adult sci-fi book. It's quite chunky, it's big. I'm really excited for it because I like his writing style, and I think he's a great author, and so it'll be cool to see what he does with a sci-fi book. This apparently is about a woman who goes to another planet just to kind of explore it, learn about the plant life on it, maybe the planet itself, its like atmosphere, that type of stuff, and she discovers something that kind of leads to what happens in the rest of our story. I'm going to be adding that to my TBR. I don't have it yet. I might actually do an audio book of that one. I'm not positive. I am really hesitant on audiobooks because if I don't like the narrator, I kind of don't like the book. So another book that I don't have yet but I really want to read in November is Hollowpox, The Hunt for Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. This is the 3rd book in the Nevermore series, the Morgan Crow series. The series follows a young girl named Morgan Crow who's a cursed child and is supposed to die on, I believe it's her 13th birthday, might be 11th, and she ends up being whisked away to a land called Nevermore by a man named Jupiter North, who becomes her patron, is trying to help her get into this wondrous society so she can live in Nevermore and not have to go home and die. I absolutely adore the series. Morgan is one of the cutest, most adorable characters. She's sassy and sweet and funny and just really loyal and a good kid. I love her. I love her friends. I love the cat. I love Jupiter. It's just a great group of people here that all come together and are kind of her found family there in Nevermore. And so I am really excited to continue on with the series. And I also got the special edition box from Owl Crate. So I've never gotten one of their Owl Crate Junior boxes before. I'm interested to see what kind of items are included, but I'm definitely excited to get the book. Another book that I got a special edition Owl Crate box of that still hasn't arrived yet is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This is a book by V.E. Schwab, and it is about a girl named Addie LaRue who makes a deal with a demon, or maybe the devil, I'm not positive, that she will be able to live forever, but no one will be able to remember her. She won't be able to leave a mark on the world, like she can't write anything or draw anything or anything like that. And then one day she goes into a bookstore and meets a guy who remembers her. And there goes our story. Probably some romance involved between these two, because I mean, really, if no guy can remember you but the one, that's pretty much the only guy you can date. So it's been decided for you. No need for Tinder or anything like that, because he's your choice. I've heard that it is so beautifully written, it's heart-wrenching, it's amazing. People absolutely are loving this book, and I want to join them reading it. I'm dying. I want my box, I want my book, I want to join in, and it just has taken so long to get here, but I'm really excited to read it in November. I'm probably going to do a vlog of me opening the box and then reading the book, so look forward to that if you're interested, and I am just beyond excited for this book. And the last book that I definitely want to read in November, which should come as no surprise to anyone, is Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson. I don't know if I even need to say what this is about. I feel like everyone has heard it a million times and it's just continuing to bash it into people's head at this point. But Rhythm of War is the fourth book in Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archives series. It's an epic high fantasy adult series. It follows these two groups of people pretty much. One's the Alethi, and their king was assassinated by the Parshendi. So they are now at war with the Parshendi. And it is so good. This is probably my favorite series of all time. It's hard to say that because it's not finished yet, but I absolutely adore it. This is so good. The magic is extremely fun and exciting to learn about. The characters are well written, well developed. They're easy to love, easy to get invested in their lives. I just can't get enough of it. I absolutely love the series. I need to finish Oathbringer though still, which I'm going to be starting today, and I'm really excited for that. So I'm probably going to be rolling Oathbringer over into November as well. But I don't care. Apparently November, I have very, very high expectations for myself. But Rhythm of War has to happen. Regardless of what else I read, next month I have to read Rhythm of War. So I have a few other books that I'm going to mention as new releases that I would really, really like to get to in November, but odds are not high that I'm going to be able to. So these books are just kind of on the back burner at the moment. If I get to them in November, great, awesome. But if I don't, that's okay. The ones that I mentioned are the ones that are like on my firm TBR, but I'm just gonna kind of quickly go through a list of books that if I happen to have time, I would like to add to my November TBR as well. We have Ashes of the Sun by Django Wexler, Master of Sorrows by Justin T. Call, A Golden Fury by Samantha Coho, The Unwilling by Kelly Braffett, My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell, Crescent City or A House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas, and The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. Now, my hopes aren't super high that I'm going to be able to get to any of those books I just mentioned, but there's new releases that are really on my radar I'd love to get to, but it just might not happen in November. And that wraps up my new release November TBR. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books, which ones you think I should add maybe from my extras list that I didn't add on, which one should be maybe my top priority if I do end up getting to those books. And let me know if you've read any of these books, what you think of them, or if maybe you want to buddy read one of them with me in November because you too were looking forward to getting to them. Definitely let me know down in the comments. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.